As always with the MXGP of the Netherlands, there just is a strong Dutch contingent in MXGP and in MX2 right now. There is no home advantage like what the Dutch take to their home GP. But that also means that there is pressure to perform. It's always interesting to see how the home riders deal with this. One of which, of course, Jens Vollvogt has had a great year in MX2 as a privateer. He's, I think, the second highest privateer in the championship in 14th place. He's a promising young rider. He's getting trained by Marc de Reuver, and he could well prove out to be a nice progression for him, especially after this year. And of course, just to add to the pressure, he's got a fancy kit design. He's got graphics all with the national flag on it, so nothing like drawing attention to yourself. And the flip side, you've got somebody like Jeffrey, who has won 14 Grand Prix wins in the country going into the weekend. Last season, he goes there, again, all the pressure. He was back from injury anyway. And then collarbone broken in free practice, gone, weekend destroyed. Can you imagine the pressure on Jeffrey's shoulders, even just heading out onto the circuit for free practice? Must have been nerve-wracking after what happened last year. And it's a great example of mind over matter, always thinking forward, forgetting about what's happened in the past. That's what he's done. He's just gone straight out, forgotten last year, fastest in free practice, boom, on we go.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, because I'm a sweaty guy, so I need to have some dry boots for riding later, otherwise not so comfortable, you know, you just feel just better. Even though it's hot, just like to have your dry feet. My name is Quentin Marc Prugnieres. I'm from Réunion Island. I was born there. I lived there until my 9 years old. And when I was 9, I came over to live in the north of France. So I started basically to ride when I was on the island. I just grew up watching Stewart, Villopoto, and I was like, yeah, I want to be like these guys, and yeah, that's how it led me there.
Quentin Prugnieres, young French rider, rookie season in MX2, and it's his first year with an F&H Racing team.
It's my first year in MX2. I'm up from the EMX250. Actually, it's a really tough year this year.
EMX is 20 motos a year. Saturday one, Sunday one, but the GP is 60 motos, eh? 1 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday in 3 hours. That's different. It's 60 motos, eh? Or 20. That's a whole other level. This is EMX, this is MX2. It's not, the road is not like this, eh? The road is like, it's like that.
Yeah, everybody's really fast, you know. Need to find my place. I was not really able until now to really find my pace. I did at some races, you know, I was pretty close from the top 5. Like I did some 6, 8 and stuff. I show some great speed sometimes, but also, you know, it was really up and down, you know.
You look at the story of his season so far, it's been pretty difficult for him. He's been plagued with bad starts, he's had a few crashes, and I think he's definitely struggled to find that consistency.
So yeah, I was off for 3 GPs because I had to take a step back, you know, to just try to come back on the good thing, you know, on my thing, you know, you just find yourself again. Yeah, that is why you had to step back a little bit to just jump forward later.
He's acting like he's tidy.
Yeah.
I've never saw him touch a broom in my life.
Liar, you're lying. She's lying. You know, I was planning to clean your place, but you know what? No.
I guess for me, I caught the MXGP series on TV back in, I don't even know what year it would have been. Yeah, I guess that just exposed me to the World Championship series, and I was just adamant from that age that that's what I wanted to do, and I wanted to be world champion. So I didn't really know how it was gonna plan out, but anyway, that was the end goal, and I just kept working towards that. Been in the game for, I think this is like my 8th or so season, so still love it the same as I started.
I was very, very, very pumped when I knew Courtney was coming to our team. In November, she injured her knee, and it was a cartilage injury.
I had a microfracture in the knee, so I was actually on crutches for 10 weeks. 10 weeks with no weight bearing.
And do that line before the waves.
Low gear.
Low gear. And do that line before the waves, hè?
Yeah. If
First lap. She only started riding 2 weeks before Spain. Yeah, that was not easy for her.
It was not easy to come back from, but at the same time, I think it was just unfortunate given the time.
Yeah, she's 4-time world champion, but there's 2 new girls coming. Yeah, they step it up. So we also need to step it up. Now we come to the main thing also, of course, is sand. And I told her, if you can ride hardpack like this, it's just small things, you can also ride sand. And I'm gonna say to you, you're gonna love it in the sand. You're gonna love it.
Duncan goes around the outside of her, moves into 4, and she immediately eyes up 3rd place.
I really enjoyed my time actually, and being in Holland.
And Duncan does go through into 3rd place.
I've really enjoyed the sand, which, yeah, is surprising. Maybe I have a good coach to learn from.
But I let her suffer, eh? I let her ride 30 minutes plus 2 laps in Lommel on Friday, eh? And she crashed, and she crashed, and she stand up, and she stand up. But this is the result. But she's tough, eh?
Duncan knows it's time to go here. She's 5 seconds off of Van Drunen, and she cuts down the inside of Volt. Volt goes too deep in the turn, and Duncan moves into 2nd. Homecoming for Lotte Van Drunen. She goes 1-1. She takes her 7th career race win. Her 4th Grand Prix victory.
Have a great mechanic and motorcycle, and we're getting more and more comfortable.
Schmieker Racing's Lindvalk on the podium. 2nd overall, F&H Racing, Courtney Duncan, the defending champion.
Yeah, been a lot to deal with, but at the same time, I feel like we're in some good shape now. Although it's like towards the end of the season, but we'll try to finish it strong.
Hello everybody and welcome to the MXGP of the Netherlands. We're at the circuit of Arnhem. This is round 16 of the FI Motocross World Championship. MX2 really could be decided in many ways this weekend. The Kai de Wolf gets a massive advantage over his teammate Lucas Koenen. With hard packs to come, it could be a little bit more difficult to play catch-up. Oh, slow start for Koenen. Looks like he bogged and had to go again, but it's going to be Sascha Koenen. Who else? With Fox Holshot number 15, with Evert 2nd, Adamo 3rd. A better start for de Wolf. He's already into 4th position. Now de Wolf nips up the inside to take over 2nd place. And we've got a change for the lead here. De Wolf down the inside, ruthless on Liam Evans.
At one point looking like it was going to be quite boring because Kai de Wolf just disappeared from everybody. But what made it interesting was Lucas Koenen didn't make a great start. He was buried outside the top 10. And once he found clear air and got his way into 2nd place, all of a sudden he was finding, 2 or 3 seconds a lap quicker than Kai.
Lucas Koenen closing in on him even more. The fans will be urging Kai de Wolf on because they can see the Belgian closing. They don't want a photo finish when all is said and done. That's the gap between 1st and 2nd.
And what we got was Lucas just kept pushing. As they went into the final lap, they were only about 2 seconds apart. And when they came out of the final corner, they were only a couple of bike lengths apart.
De Wolf takes a look over his shoulder. He wins race 1. Lucas Koenen 2nd. The gap in the end was less than a second. And Lucas Koenen, he's basically saying, you know what, the next one. I'll have him in the next one. That little hand gesture.
You got Kai sort of, won the race. But Lucas, he's already on the pegs, almost like a jockey, at the end of the race, but signalling to his pit crew, I'm ready to go again. I can keep doing this all day long, you know what I mean? There was a hand gesture there that suggested that this kid, he's got more in the tank for race 2. Obviously, we talk about Lucas and Kai being probably the best sand riders in MX2 at the moment, but don't forget Liam Everts won this Grand Prix 12 months ago. I think Langenfelder was on the podium as well. You know, so from that side, there are potential upsets, but can they bring the speed that Lucas and Kai have? That's the question.
And De Wolf trying to muscle his way onto his teammate. He clears him up the bank, and it's Sasha Coonan. Home and dry, 16 in the books for him. He wins the foxhole shot contest, and he's got Adamo behind him. And Chambers from Florida right there in third. Where did that start come from on that bike? It's Kawasaki.
Of course, anything is possible, but it all depends on how the track shapes up, because it's very easy to break a rhythm there, and once you break the rhythm in the sand, it's very difficult to sort of regain that composure, find your breath, and go again and try to get back on terms with the pace that you had before you fell.
Well, he thought about it, didn't he? But he cuts to the inside and takes away the line from Harp, who almost goes down. De Wolf now second. Oh, De Wolf is off. De Wolf goes off in that turn. Did he catch the back marker? Did he try something else? We've got a change, and that is advantage Lucas Coonan in terms of a potential overall Grand Prix victory. De Wolf has just thrown it away again. Same corner as he made a mistake a few laps ago when there was a back marker down.
Kai got himself back into second place, and then he hit the eject button in the same corner, but in a big way. Literally just came in, over the front, picked himself up, and then after that the bars looked like they were damaged, looked like there was a problem with the bike.
Bars a little bit bent, nothing else he can do.
He gave the advantage to Lucas.
And he can't ride in his normal fashion. Adamo goes through, takes over second place. This has got to be an absolute nightmare for Kai de Wolf riding in this way. Only a matter of time before the 8 comes by. The South African Camden McClellan, he goes around the outside of De Wolf. De Wolf all of a sudden now down in 4th place. And Lucas Coonan celebrating as if to say, come on, this is what it's all about. Lucas Coonan crossed the line, he wins the MXGP of the Netherlands.
It was an impressive performance from the number 96, absolutely. He did to Kai what he had done to him at his home Grand Prix, so 1-1, you know, tit for tat. He was up for the fight, he was definitely in the mood, he brought his A game, and he won the Grand Prix. Simple.
Third overall, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, Andrea Adamo. Back-to-back podiums for just the second time this year. Kai de Wolf, second overall in the Stern-Husqvarna Factory Racing. But Lucas Coonan, the Stern-Husqvarna Factory Racing, on the top step of the podium once again. Kai de Wolf, he now leads by 44 points. He's had his lead slashed by 5 over the course of the weekend. He's all smiles, but it's a bittersweet weekend for the Dutchman.
Ducati is a classic Italian brand, one of the few that survived after the 60s and the 70s, where we had so many brands also in motocross. The end of the 90s, beginning of 2000, 2001, they really started to smash up in Superbike with their production bikes. Then they moved to MotoGP. We know now the story of the success of Ducati in both Superbike and MotoGP. Entering motocross and MXGP is something that was really surprising everyone.
Antonio, amazing to have you back with us in MXGP.
Yeah, there's not a man that I fear. There's nobody nobody here that can stop. Cause I'm in the league of my own. Yeah, y'all can just sit back and watch me. They know who I am, they can't imitate. I'm staying in your lane, I'm a sex straight. I'm building my way to the top. You get in my way, you know that I'm a renovate.
They contacted me first last year with this project of Ducati, possibly as having a motocross bike. Was really interested, to be honest. I still want to ride, you know, because I think there is always time, you know, to stop when you are not good anymore to ride. My job can be a better job, you know, for develop some bikes than being a team manager.
The off-road in general and motocross specifically has always been one of the wishes of our CEO, Claudio Domenicali, and finally we got the green light in 2021. Because we thought Ducati should get out of a comfort zone, which is a street sports bike, and show to the world that we are able to make also a very competitive motocross bike. For sure, our ultimate goal is to be able to fight for the championship in MXGP. We know it will take time because we are coming actually next year for the first time. We will do a full season with 2 riders. We are pretty happy of the result we have achieved so far with some new ideas and different concepts.
With this Desmo450 system, you have a very different character of the engine. And of course, the character also of the frame with this no welding parts. We are already in the direction that this is gonna be the bike that's gonna be on sale next year. So we are really looking forward, to our Ducatisti fan, to have the possibility to get this bike.
I think Cairoli back on the grid was something quite emotional, first of all, because I still remember very well that 21st of November 2021, while it announced that was his last race. It was so incredible. I was just looking, stuff, and 21st November 2021 to Saturday in Arnhem, 1,000 days. Exactly, 1,000 days.
And it does rear Gate 1, which is a slow reaction, I think it was, because Guadagnini gets the jump on him, but it's a very tight 90 degree for a third rider.
I think 23 title all together in MXGP class.
So the fast starting Antonio Cairoli in third on the Ducati.
Racing alongside together, it was a kind of 400 Grand Prix victories all together again. Numbers that are like really incredible. Of course, having Ducati in MXGP is something great. I think that the choice was clearly a logical choice to come over here to just add this last championship to what they do in racing.
And Glenn Koldenoff will win the Ram qualifying race, takes Banting's victory for the first time. Cairoli in 7th. Yeah, for those who are just tuning in, Antonio Cairoli, 9-time world champ, is racing here this weekend on a bike called a Ducati Desmo450. He was in 7th position.
So with Antonio Cairoli, even just for one round, joining the amazing lineup that we have in MXGP in 2024, you then have the amazing prospect of Jorge Prado, Tim Geiser, Romain Febvre, Jeffrey Hurlings, and Antonio Cairoli. Basically the winners of the last 15 MXGP World Championships between them, going back to 2009. That's an incredible wealth of talent, all on one start line. Coming from Sweden to the Netherlands, everybody was kind of shocked with what happened there in MXGP Race 1 from Jorge Prado. He defied what everybody says about him, which is that he cannot make passes. Well, he shut us all up because he came through, passed, apart from Jeffrey, the best riders in the class, to take a stunning win, and from there...
Has Jeffrey Hurlings left himself too much work to do because he didn't have the best weekend? The only thing that Jeffrey could really do now going forward is just literally look at every round and try and win every single race to give himself half a chance.
If he doesn't dominate on home turf, then really, you got to say his championship is kind of realistically over.
And Koldenoff, just like he did yesterday, capitalised on Jorge Prado running wide. The Hoff leads in Arnhem.
Race 1 couldn't really have started much worse for Jeffrey. Yes, he could have been in a first corner pileup, but he didn't start brilliantly.
Jorge Prado started second, didn't waste any time getting to the front of the field. Tim was having a good solid ride for him in the sand. Roman and Jeremy, they were kind of tripping each other up as well. And then behind all of that, some 18, 20 seconds further back, you got Jeffrey Hurlings. He's looking at it thinking, I have to win.
Of course, we all know what Jeffrey did at Lommel, but he made 17 seconds there on Jorge Prado very quickly towards the end of the race, and he didn't have anybody else to pass apart from lap riders.
Oh, these two tearing strips off of each other.
He must see the track in a complete reverse to everybody else. Everybody's feeling like, man, this is getting rough, this is getting tortuous, the track is getting destroyed. He must see as it's being built for him, like it's actually getting better. This is where he can now make time.
These two traded positions 3 or 4 times, didn't they? But Hurlings doubles his way neatly into turn 5. Honda on the finish line now. Hurlings will see him, and all of a sudden it's game on, because Jeffrey Hurlings sets his fastest lap of the race at 1:48.5. The only rider below the 49s, and the only other rider in the 49s is Koldenhoff. Hurlings is absolutely on a charge here. Runs it down the inside, goes bar to bar. Geiser getting pushed back to 4th as Hurlings moves ahead into 3rd place. Fans loved that.
He catches up to Glenn Koldenhoff. I don't know how they didn't hit each other.
He's alongside Koldenhoff. Oh, how did they not touch? How did they not touch?
It looks like they almost went through each other like something from a sci-fi movie.
And Hurlings goes around the outside, he takes second, he's got Prado in his sights. But this is going to play into Geiser's hands here if Hurlings finds his way past. And it looks like it's a question of when, not if.
The excitement around the place just builds and builds because he just keeps on pounding forward.
Nothing in it as they reach the end of lap 15. Prado, Hurlings. Where has this speed come from? Well, back end working overtime there though. Can he go to the outside? He thinks about it. Oh, round the outside. Moves into the lead. Fans absolutely going ecstatic. He didn't even look. Just keeps his head down. Moves into the lead. He could do with the... Oh! Easy, Tiger.
Race 1 in the books, and it's his first Grand Prix, you know, at home in a while because he didn't ride the GP last year because of the collarbone, we know that. There's still a championship fight very, very much on, and he wants to be a world champion for the 6th time. So if he's to do that, he has to go out and win every single race. Job done in race 1. Jeffrey can win his home Grand Prix. You got Prado finish 2nd, can potentially win the Grand Prix if he gets a better result than Jeffrey. Tim has a possibility of making it on the podium, but so too has Glenn Koldenhoff.
Charging down into turn 1. See, we're opening up the turn, and so too Koldenhoff. And again, it's Glenn Koldenhoff. 4 now, back to back. In fact, he's had boxhole shots every single race this weekend alone. Oh, Hurlings off the side of the track. He got offline there, look, and then just heavily plowed his way into the deep sand.
With Prado now clear of Jeffrey, he pushed on to Tim. And to say that Tim and Jorge got a little bit too close for comfort is an understatement.
Prado down the inside. Oh, he runs into trouble as well, but somehow salvages it and takes 2nd away from Geiser. It's going to be a drag race down past pit lane for these two. Wow! How tight, how close. It's not the first time these two have banged bars. Lockett at the end of pit lane a couple of weeks ago springs to mind. How much do these two want it? Geiser and Prado. Whoa. Prado hanging on. He moves into that 2nd place. Big moment for him in this race. Geiser straight back though, and it goes around the outside Koldenhoff, and he leads. Tim Geiser leads in Holland. and Prado goes with him.
You know, you've still got Jeffrey in 4th place. And you're thinking, all right, well, do we concern ourselves with Jeffrey being a few seconds back? Probably not.
But things settling down. Hurling's up the inside. He moves from 4th to 3rd. Hurling's less around the outside in a second. Fans have come alive as well. Out of that turn. Turn 8. Hurling's your new leader. Victory number 107. He wins at home again. And Jeffrey Hurling's 15 Grand Prix wins at home in his career now.
Jorge 2nd, Tim 3rd. That, for him, 3rd overall as well. 3rd in the race, as good as a Grand Prix victory, because he left Arnhem 9 points clear. He still holds the championship leader's red plate.
Team HRC, he continues to lead. It might be 9 points, but you'd rather be leading than trailing at this stage of the championship. National anthem for Jeffrey Hurlings and the Netherlands.